Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Weekly Scroll, your 5-star, creator-approved news update designed to keep you ahead of the apps, ahead of the trends, and ahead of the algorithm. I'm your host, Caitlin, and if you're brand new here, hi, welcome. This is where we break down everything happening across Instagram, Meta, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, and the entire creator economy, so you don't have to scroll for 10 hours a week just to keep up. Today's a big one, y'all. It always is. We've got so many good updates to run through and a lot of info about AI, so I can't wait to dive in. So grab your coffee or your Stanley cup, grab your money walk shoes, and let's get into today's scroll. This week's episode of the Weekly Scroll is powered by Club Enfluence. It's my Instagram membership that gets you everything you need to crush trends online. We provide you with weekly trends, Reels ideas, plug and play templates, and trending audio so you can just stay consistent on Instagram without aimlessly scrolling your feed for ideas. Hello, sign me up. I will link a promo code for you guys because it's the end of the year. I want to get you guys inside in the show notes. Hit us up. Come join us inside Club Enfluence. All right. I'm back, by the way, from Chicago. I was in Chicago for the last 24 hours. I actually got home last night at 3:30 in the morning. And I woke up at 10, had my coffee, met with my team, and now I'm here giving you guys the weekly scroll. I have bags under my eyes today, so that's fun. And a full day is scheduled for me. So we just got to get back into it, right? And I'm not like the super duper pushy, like hustle culture means everything. That's not me. I'm a mom of two. I'm a wife. I'm a dog mom. But sometimes we just have to keep going. One thing I said yesterday when I was speaking on stage is that, there's people out there that will post once or twice or a couple times. Maybe they even get a viral reel and pull in some followers. And then they're like, oh, this isn't working for me. Like, it's not happening fast enough. Let me just tell you, I have got here blood, sweat, and tears crawling my way out of holes to get where I'm at, to grow this brand, to have this social media agency, to have this podcast. It doesn't come easy and you have to put in the work. So today I had a choice. It's like either push this episode to Friday and let down my audience who looks forward to the weekly scroll, or get my ass out of bed and go do the thing. So here I am doing the thing. I hope you guys appreciate it. I'm tired, but I'm here and we have so much to go through today. So first and foremost, Meta is filling your apps with AI characters. What does that mean? So Meta is rolling out AI Studio so that users and brands can create AI characters inside of Messenger. That's Meta Messenger, like Facebook, that's Instagram, that's WhatsApp, all of them. These bots can chat like people and eventually have their own voices and their own personalities. Wild, right? So how do I feel about this? What I think is that for brands and businesses, this could actually be really cool. I know AI is scary. We actually talked about this at dinner in Chicago because some of the realtors, I was there speaking to a bunch of realtors about Instagram and how to grow your business using Instagram. And, they're curious, what do you think about AI? I'm not afraid of AI. I think that we have to embrace it or we're going to get left behind. Wild, but one of the realtors actually was talking about how they're testing this new feature. I guess they're doing listing videos, right? Where you go through and you tour a home and AI can actually put people in that home, like having conversations over dinner or someone napping on the couch. And I'm like, whoa, you're lying, right? And he's like, no, this is real. So I'm actually curious to see how all that goes. But I do think that AI is here to stay and we just have to roll with the punches and we have to learn how to incorporate it into our business. So what AI Studio actually is in plain English, it's a tool where creators and brands can build a chatbot version basically of themselves or their character that talks to people in the DMs and the comments. You can define its personality, its tone, what topics it can answer, and what it should not do. And it's slowly being integrated into Messenger, WhatsApp, and Instagram. I think it's kind of cool because I can't always be in my DMs, right? So if you had like my chat girl that's there to answer your questions while I'm out, I don't think I'd hate it. If you guys follow This Is Nikki on Instagram, she actually has this chatbot and it talks like her. Like it has the language like her, it says things like her. And I honestly feel like I'm talking to her when I DM her and I get that chatbot. I still know it's the chatbot because she says something like, this is Nikki chat or this is Nikki bot or something like that. So I think it's important to like be honest with our audience and our followers and say like, hey, this is, so-and-so bot. I'm here helping Caitlin manage this stuff. But I don't know. I think it's something for us to embrace. So why Meta cares so much about this? It's engagement at all costs. If an AI can answer people at 2 a.m., people stay in the app longer, right? So that's what Meta wants. So they're going to give us these resources to help people get answers at 2 a.m. Meta has openly said they plan to bring millions of AI characters into these apps, and these AI profiles will post, they'll reply, they'll interact like people. And this is all according to Social Media Today if you want to go in and do your own research on this. I think for creators and small businesses, there's a potential upside because one, it's a first line of support for like FAQs, frequently asked questions, things that AI bots can answer, right? Lead qualifying. Maybe a bot can ask questions before they ever even book a call and get you more information about them so that when you do get on the call, you kind of already know the backstory of this person. And then there's the nurture aspect, like sending people to your freebie, your podcast, your membership. Hello, I love that. I will definitely be there for that. You could eventually like see this as having like a virtual assistant living inside of your Instagram DMs. And I'm okay with that. Now, the potential red flags of this is most users will not be able to tell what is a real human versus a bot if Meta does not label it clearly, or if you're not saying like, hey, this is Caitlin bot. You know what I mean? I say come at these people honestly about who you are and who this is so that they know, because there are real mental health implications when people start bonding with entities that are not real people. I don't know if y'all ever saw that movie where the guy fell in love with the AI lady on the screen. Freaking weird, but it's true. Like, think about these lonely people that think they're talking to you and then all along it's your AI. So I would be super transparent about that. And then obviously you have to understand that there's going to be mistakes, right? Like brand tone issues or AI giving off off-brand advice. So we have to definitely like watch it very closely. Practical takeaway from this: you don't need to rush into this to build an AI version of yourself, but if you want to experiment, you could start with like very tight guardrails. Maybe only use it for frequently asked questions or sending links to things or like a simple flow. If you're trying to see if this is a good lead or not, make sure it's clearly labeled as your assistant. And then monitor those conversations, right? Like make sure you're peeping in there and seeing what's being said. I think early adopters who treat AI as a support tool, not a replacement for themselves, will win here. The people who unleash it on their community without supervision are probably going to get burned. So you have to be very careful there. So while Meta is trying to automate your DMs, guess what the government's doing? It's still trying to figure out what to do with TikTok. So Trump has repeatedly extended the enforcement of the TikTok ban by executive orders. So TikTok is technically banned by law, but the government keeps delaying the enforcement of it. So the latest extensions have pushed the deadline multiple times, and you can read about this in The Guardian. There's a whole article on it. TikTok's still running because the president keeps signing executive orders to delay it. But let me give you like a quick timeline recap. So this is explained in simple terms. So there was a law passed that TikTok has to either sell its US business or be banned because of national security concerns. Then the enforcement date hits. New administration comes in and keeps extending the deadline. January, April, June, then again to September and beyond. Like, what are we? We're in December at this point. The current reality is this. TikTok operates like normal for 170 million US users, while technically being in deadline purgatory. This is all according to AP News. So if you want to look it up, look it up. But why does this matter to creators and small business owners? Well, it creates constant platform risk. Like you never know if or when the plug gets pulled. And then brands are nervous about building strategies that are 100% TikTok dependent because what if the plug gets pulled tomorrow? But audiences are very much still there. They're using it daily. I mean, nothing's really changed on the user end. It's just not knowing. It's like the unknown. We don't know. So what should you do right now? If TikTok is one of your main growth channels, there's a couple things you could do to just prep yourself. One, keep posting, but stop pretending that it's a stable long-term home base, just in case, like start spreading yourself over to email or to Instagram. Maybe start telling them now, like, hey, you love me on TikTok. Guess what? I'm over on Instagram too. And push them over to Instagram or push them to your email or, SMS. Maybe you're texting them. Whatever it is, push them over to a safety net, right? And then diversify with at least one other short form platform. Maybe that's Reels, maybe that's YouTube Shorts, or even Threads video. For businesses, think about this. If TikTok disappeared tomorrow, how would we talk to these people? That's why you have to have a safety net in place. And if the answer is I don't know, then your priority is building a list. And maybe that's just putting an email capture in your bio so at least people can get on your list and you can nurture them that way. TikTok is currently living on borrowed time, right? Use the reach while it's still there. Speaking of platforms, let's talk about the one Meta is really betting on right now, and that's Threads. Threads hit 350 million users and it keeps growing. So Meta's cute little baby app, Threads, it's not so little anymore. It's surpassed the 350 million users, and they're openly calling it their next major social app and the best alternative to X. I don't even log into X anymore. I don't know about you guys. To be honest, like last quarter it was 320 million. Now it's 350 million. So that's 30 million new users joined since last quarter. That's crazy. Meta says time spent is up more than 30% too, thanks to better recommendations. That's according to Social Media Today. So maybe you're getting a better algorithm over there. X, on the other hand, claims around 600 million monthly users, but there are big questions about how many of those are bots or they're inflated. We don't really know if that's all true. The thing about Threads is that Meta's pushing it. So like, they're leaning into sports, live events, news conversations. And that used to all be over on Twitter, but they're trying to pull it over to Threads. So integrate it tightly with Instagram. When I first created my Threads account, most of my followers automatically went over to my Threads account from Instagram. So that was really cool. They kind of keep it tight with Instagram, so following people is frictionless. And then they're slowly expanding the search, the trends, and the recommendations. It's getting better and better for sure. So it's something to definitely consider for your social media strategy. Now, how can creators and business owners think about Threads? So, well, a couple ways. It's great for building thought leadership and authority. I love going over there and just speaking my mind on things. Having conversations that are too quick or messy for polished carousels, you can easily just write your thoughts out over on Threads. Repurposing some of the hooks that are working over on Reels or carousels, use that as a text thread. Now, it's not a great primary sales channel yet, but it's powerful for nurturing warm leads who already follow you. And it's good for being top of mind with like simple daily post, unpolished, simple actions that you can do today. Like first, go ahead and claim your username and profile if you haven't. And then choose one content lane. Maybe you're giving a hot take on a certain topic, or maybe you use it for behind the scenes business updates, or maybe you just give quick value tips. Like pick one of these core content pillars and stick to it. And then here's the kicker, okay? You got to commit to 1 to 3 posts a day for 30 days and treat it as a sandbox, right? So there is a lot of commitment to it, but the more you use it, the more you get more followers, the more you get engagement. And I'm telling you, some people are using it for a sales driver. So if Instagram is where people discover you and your offers, then Threads can quietly become the place where people fall in love with your brand. Now, while Threads is climbing, X is in a very different situation financially, which I'm very surprised that this is public knowledge because we know Elon Musk got all the money in the world. So I'm surprised this is coming to light. But financial documents that have been shared with lenders paint a pretty messy picture. X is bringing in money, especially around like political cycles, but almost all of that is getting eaten up by its debt. So here's what the numbers say. X reportedly did $1.2 billion in adjusted earnings before interest and other costs in 2024. At the same time, it owes about $1.2 billion a year in interest on the debt that Elon Musk took on to buy Twitter. So the translation of this is after paying the interest, what's left? There's basically nothing left. So here's what this means for product and creators. So X has slashed staff, its cost, which affects moderation, product stability, and support. So that means it's highly motivated to push ads really hard, sell subscriptions like X Premium, experiment with anything that might drive new revenue quickly, not always in the user-friendly way. So should creators and brands still be on X? I don't know. I mean, X still matters if your audience is heavily into politics, finance, tech, journalism, or you rely on that real-time commentary. But I'm telling you, Threads is just like it. For small businesses, I personally believe that Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or Threads or even email is going to give you a much higher return than what X is going to give you. So if you already have a strong audience on X, nurture it. I mean, don't stop talking over there, but I would not be sending my last marketing dollar to X in 2025 and then rolling into 2026. Like, no, that's not where we're going. So from a business owner perspective, X feels like that high drama friend. Like sometimes they're entertaining, but you don't want them in charge of your rent money, right? And finally, let's talk about the update from Meta that has the biggest long-term implications for what you see online. Meta is changing its content rules. So big headline, Meta loosens content rules and kills third-party fact-checking. Meta just announced it's moving away from third-party fact-checking and it will rely more on a community note style system, while also allowing more content that would previously have been removed, especially like around immigration, gender identity, political sensitivity topics. I don't know where the head is at here at Meta for this, but it seems like what's actually changing here is that Meta is updating like what kinds of speech are allowed on topics that are often politically debated or immigration, gender identity. It's also phasing out the long-running program where external fact-checking partners could flag posts as false or misleading. Instead, Meta wants more open debate plus community note style context. And I'm all for open debate, but if there seems to be like any hate speech or anything like that, I really hope that they're going to be flagging that. The public framing here is that more free speech, fewer mistakes, and less perception of political bias and fact checking, because that's what this is all about, right? So the business reality of all of this is like less pressure from political groups and governments who accused Meta of censorship, easier relationship with the current administration and regulators. And then there's less cost, right? And complexity in running a massive fact-checking program. So they're going to save money there. Why should this matter to you? So first off, political content resurfacing in feeds. It might start happening more often without the fact checkers. Edgy, polarizing, or outright hateful content might slip through. That's what I'm scared of. And I really hope it doesn't, but it could. On top of that, misinformation could spread faster if community notes are slower or never appear at all, right? So brand safety concern goes up here. Your ads or content can appear near content you don't want to be associated with. So as a creator, you've got to decide how much you want to talk about politics or polarizing topics. For me, that's 0. I don't like bringing that up in my content. And then you've got to set boundaries up for yourself and for your community. And as a business owner, adjust your comments and your DMs moderations plan. You can put in words that aren't allowed in your settings. And if your brand serves those marginalized groups, consider being extra proactive in creating safe spaces for them, like private groups or email-based communities. And as a consumer, slow down before you share that next piece of content, because who knows if it's even true or not. Look for sources outside of social media for these big claim news topics. Bottom line here is social platforms are businesses first. We got to remember that. So protect your own mental health, your community, your business by being intentional about how you use them. All right, friends, that's your weekly scroll for this week. We've covered a lot today. Meta's AI characters creeping into all of your apps. The never-ending TikTok ban. That's not really a ban, but it is. Threads quietly becoming a real player here. X trying to outrun its own debt. Meta loosening its content rules. Here's my challenge to you this week. 1, I want you to choose one platform you want to double down on for growth. 2, I want you to choose one way you're going to own your audience off of apps. So maybe that's an email list or a text list, and you're going to start building that this week. And then decide on one boundary you're putting in place for your mental health on social this week. Maybe you are turning on the screen time on your phone and you're not on it as much. Maybe you're going to put in those keywords that people can't comment on your post. Whatever that is, I want you to put your mental health first when it comes to social media. And if you want to keep up, stay ahead with all the trends without burning out, come hang out with us over inside of Club Enfluence. You'll get weekly Reels prompts, templates, a plan, so you're not doing this alone. The link is in the show notes. And if this episode was helpful, take a screenshot, share it to your stories, tag me so I can say hi, and I would love to repost it to my own stories. I love you. I'm cheering for you, and I will see you in the next weekly scroll.